Go.
Hi, my name is Maria Lloyd, and you are tuned into Your Black World TV. Now, in this segment of Your Black World TV, we're going to talk about all of the top stories that happened in Black America this week. Joining me for this very interesting conversation this week are Noma Lenga. Noma Lenga is the founder of HealthyBlackWoman.com, and also Tiara. She is the founder of She is the founder of The Real Network. And also coming in and out would be Yvette Carnell. And Yvette Carnell is the founder of BreakingBrown.com. So we're having a little bit of connectivity issues. So some of us may pop in, pop out every now and again, but just hang in there with us. So starting off the conversation, this particular story I initially didn't want to talk about because it literally makes me sick to my stomach. But there's a young lady named Keisha, 22 years old. She's pregnant. She was featured on TLC's My Strange Addiction, which the show, as you can imagine, I mean, the name alone, it kind of tells you what type of content they display. But this young lady is addicted to urine-filled diapers, and what she does is literally sucks on the diapers, and she said she loves the smell. She's actually engaged. Her fiance, of course, is disgusted by it, and he says that he's just getting fed up. She leaves dirty diapers all around the house. She literally will go through trash cans to get a dirty diaper. Just a very sick, weird situation. So, ladies, I mean, I don't even know what to say without gagging on air, but what are your thoughts about this? I mean, I'm stunned that she actually has a fiance. What are your thoughts, Noma?
Well, this story was actually posted at Healthy Black Woman, so I had to look at it in order to edit it. And what it was, at least the way I looked at it, is that she is dealing with an addiction. I'm addicted to coffee, and I say it all the time. I'm addicted to coffee. So that's how I'm looking at it. It's disgusting. It disgusts the rest of us. But I think, the only thing I can think of is to have a little compassion for her because she's an addict, even though it makes us all want to vomit.
And it looks like Tiara may have dropped off. Tiara, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. You
okay.
Can't hear me?
Oh, you can hear us. Yeah, well, actually, I can hear you, but it looks like the image may have dropped off a little bit. But what are your thoughts about this? What do you think about this young lady and her addiction?
Okay, so I think he definitely has some issues. It's weird because when you're pregnant, some people crave ice cream. Some people crave ice. I don't know. Usually people don't crave dirty diapers. And I just think it's something that she needs to evaluate. Like, this means that every time Keisha comes over, Keisha smells like piss, which is nasty. It's not the best thing to just, I mean, how do you, even her fiance, it's like, are you hard up? Because your your fiance smells like pee. I'm sure she smells like it in the bed. It smells like it around the house. Ugh. It's like, what is happening in that household? Ew.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this story actually grosses me out, so I'm going to kind of, hit it very quickly. But I think the part that really freaked me out is they were saying that she literally will take a diaper and suck on it while she's cooking in the kitchen. I'm thinking, who's crazy enough to eat out of her kitchen? I don't know, man. This story grosses me out to my core. So if you ladies don't mind, I'm actually going to try to move on because I'm getting very lightheaded and sick just thinking about it. So the next story that we'll segue into is not a funny story at all. It's pretty sickening too, but from a different point of view. And it's about black babies being used as alligator bait. Now, this story has been at the top of Your Black World Network's list for a little while now. And basically, it's about a man. He filmed a video. He's a collector of artifacts. And so he filmed a video saying that he went down to Sanford, Florida to a pawn shop and saw some shackles and wanted to purchase them. And I guess the guy who owned the store didn't want to sell it to him. And he pulled him into a back room and told him, hey, you know, you probably never heard of this before, but my grandfather told me that, you know, during slavery days, they would use black children as alligator bait. And so the guy said, he asked him, what do you mean black babies? You know, are we talking 5, 6, 7 years old? And he said, no, we're talking newborns to toddlers. And so, of course, the story is it's just very sad. It definitely hurts my core. But the thing that's interesting to me is, and I'm going to ask you ladies this, but I was never taught this in history class growing up in high school, neither, and also in college too. So I wanted to ask you all, why do you think that there are certain parts of our history that we learn in school, and why do you think that there are other parts that are just kind of left out? And so first off, again, the first question is, did you all learn this in school? Now, Noma, I know that you were raised in Botswana, so I don't know if, you know, the experience is a little different over there, but Tiara, I definitely want you to chime in and let me know if you were familiar with the story before it was published.
I was actually. I went to an academy called Afrocentric Academy, Afrocentric Educational Academy when I was young, and they taught us a lot about history, and you know, I kind of had I just learned about a lot about us and our history and what we went through and all of that at a young age. My junior high school, it was like a separate charter school from a junior high. So I was exposed to a lot of different things that pertain to Black people. But just having some experience in the Bayou itself in New Orleans, I did learn this, you know, and it's disturbing. It's disturbing, you know, our history is just so rich, but it's so dark, you know, and it just makes me really emotional to think. I mean, now that I have a child, it's like, when you're younger, it's like, oh, okay, well, that happened, that sucks. And you think of it collectively, like the entire experience of slavery was sad. But then when you start to itemize those things and really look at it, it's like, wow. I mean, we really went through a lot. And you wonder why it's so dark and why there was so much hatred, you know? So, yeah.
Okay. And just 1 second, Noma. Viewers, if you'll notice, Yvette Carnell just chimed in. And Yvette, what we're talking about is the story that's been #1 on Your Black Road for a while now. It's about Black children being used as alligator bait. And so the question that I pose, or actually 2 questions, are, 1, were you taught this in school? And 2, why do you think that there are certain parts of our history that we just don't learn in school? So I'm going to go ahead and let Noma Langa answer first, and I'll let you, speak after Noma.
Well, Maria, one thing I can say is, I was born and raised in Botswana. I think you all know that. And I went to high school in Zimbabwe. And so, no, I didn't learn about any of that. I will say this, though. Sadly, it doesn't really surprise me. I think that if you can have a country that takes a group of people and classifies them as less than human, we shouldn't be surprised when they do things to them that are inhumane, because technically at one time Black people were not considered human.
Okay. Yvette, what are your thoughts about this? Were you taught this in school, and why do you think some of our history is not taught in school?
I'm sorry, Maria, I couldn't hear you. What'd you say?
Were you taught in school about the Black children, the slave children being used as alligator bait? And if not, or if so, why do you think? Oh, go ahead.
No. I wasn't, but I think that that's an intentional thing. The first time that I read about Black children being thrown in the woods or tossed away, not as alligator bait at that time, but the first time I even read or heard anything about that as being something that happened in real life as opposed to a horror movie, it was in King Leopold's Ghost, which was a book about, the atrocities of King Leopold in the Congo. So I think that a lot of what Noma has talked about previously to this conversation in terms of homeschooling and kind of educating your own kids kind of comes into play here, because you're not going to get that in school. They're just not going to get it. They have this prepackaged model, and a lot of it is sort of, filled with propaganda, but that's what you're going to get. You're going to get this kind of stale, America's great. It always has been great. That's what it is. We only did this for freedom. We've made mistakes, move on. So I think if you want your kids to learn about that kind of thing, you have to take the initiative.
I think we lost Yvette.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like we're definitely having some connectivity issues. So, okay, I guess we'll go ahead and go into the next story, another headliner that's been on the platform this week. And that is about the actress, Lupita Nyong'o. She graced the cover of Vanity Fair. Of course, she's a beautiful woman, Kenyan actress. She starred in 12 Years a Slave. And, Vanity Fair is being accused of lightening her skin. And so, of course, people are outraged. Are you serious? Why are you lightening her skin? So, I want you ladies to tell me, first off, if you think that her skin was lightened for the cover. When I looked at it, I didn't think so. It looks more or less like lightning as opposed to them actually photoshopping and lightening her skin. It looks like it was more or less the lighting of the setting. So, I'm going to go ahead and let Noma Langa, if you will, chime in and let me know, what did you think about the cover? Do you think that they photoshopped her skin tone to make her look lighter, or what do you think?
I don't think they photoshopped it and made her look lighter, but I certainly think they were creative with the lighting that they used, like you said. I also think that photographers and people in that world, let me put it that way, I think they do use different light and different creativity when it comes to brown skin versus non-black people. I think that happens, and I think that is true. I do think, though, however, even though we can say, no, they didn't really Photoshop her or whatever, and they were just using light, maybe trying to show her more, and the light made her, as a result, look lighter than she is. Still, I still feel like built into that, anything that you do, the thought that's built into it is that there's something wrong with dark skin, so we have to alter it some way. Whether you're doing it with Photoshop or you're doing it with creative lighting, that thought is still there. And I think that's what we're still dealing with.
Okay, so Tiara, what are your thoughts about the cover?
Well, I agree with you, ladies. I didn't think it was racism just because it happened before with India Arie and with Beyonce. These same claims came up, and they were accusing Vanity Fair of lying. Here and just in this industry, I know that lighting is important, especially for dark skin. You want to make them look the best that they can look. You want to make them, and that doesn't really mean I'm trying to lighten you to make you look white per se, just so you can be seen. And, it's just very important. So, while I don't think, it was racism, just because it keeps happening, I just think it's their light. In a photo shoot, there's lights coming from everywhere. They're pretty hard lights. Mm-hmm. So just to be under those, and you're going to look lighter. Sometimes I look at a picture, I'd be like, dang, I'm light as Beyonce. In real life, I'm not as light as Beyonce. But it looks like it's because of the lighting I was in, So, that's, those are my thoughts on that. But I think it's done, for sure.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So our last headlining story on Your Black World involves Reverend Jeremiah Wright. Now, if you guys know, if you're familiar with the Obama campaign, you know that he and President Obama, well, first of all, Reverend Jeremiah Wright used to be President Obama's pastor, Chicago. And of course, when President Obama was running for presidency, they fell out big time, and he actually denounced his relationship with the pastor. So ever since then, it's been a little rocky between them. And so recently, Reverend Wright had preached at a teachers union meeting, I believe, on Wednesday of this week. And he was basically cautioning people against comparing President Obama to Dr. Martin Luther King. He's saying, hey, Dr. King was against racism and military and stuff like that and war. Whereas the president, he's creating a hit list, if you will, every Tuesday of people that need to be killed. So he's basically telling folks, look, don't compare the two of them. They're not the same. So I want to ask Norma Malenga, what do you think about Reverend Wright's remarks? Where do you think that was coming from?
Well, I think it's important to also clarify that, to my understanding, what happened between the Reverend and the president was that the Reverend was speaking out a lot during the campaign, and it was detrimental to the campaign. So the president had to publicly distance himself from it, which I think was a wise decision if the end result was that he was going to win the presidency. But talking about the Reverend and what he's saying now, I just think if you've fallen out with a person, that then makes you a target. In other words, if you remove somebody from your life and they feel that rejection, I feel like they lose credibility. I feel like the Reverend is now don't get me wrong, I don't disagree entirely with everything that I've ever heard him say, but I do think he seems to take everything to the extreme.
Okay. And what were your thoughts, Tiara? What did you think about it?
Well, I know that President Obama is no saint, but, Reverend Jeremiah Wright was just saying that he'll be known as the president of drones and all of that. But it's like, what about the things that President Obama, hopefully he's known for his Affordable Health Care Act, once they reel it together. It might be kind of expensive now, but, after they figure it out, things will become cheaper. I think. The Wall Street reform, passing stimulus, ending war in Iraq. All of these things are things that President Obama has done. To add to the list of things, I can't just look at him and say, oh, there's President Obama. I just think that's false. What he's saying is false. That's not all President Obama will be known for. Every president has a cross to bear. I definitely think that President Obama could do better. But just like, I was in New Orleans during Katrina, and, President Bush did what he did to the New Orleanians, just leaving them there and all of that. So it's like he's known for that. So, without making it a big thing and digressing, I'm just saying, I think every president will be known for something. And if he will be known for this, that's his cross to bear.
So do you ladies think that, because I know you all have seen the images, of Dr. Martin Luther King and President Obama. There's one especially that's really popular where it shows them kind of having the same pose. What do you all think that comparison is fair, though? Do you think people should compare the President Barack Obama, because he is the first African-American president? Do you think that they should compare him to Dr. Martin Luther King? Why or why not? And Noma or whomever wants to go first.
Maria, I think that comparing at all is never good. I think that there are things that obviously Martin Luther King did for this country that Barack Obama will never do. But then again, Martin Luther King was never president. He did not. Even if he had tried to become president, I doubt if he could have been. So I don't think any good can come from comparing the two. They both have made their contribution to this country. They've done it in different ways, and I don't think there's a reason to compare them. I don't think that any good can come from comparing them.
Okay. Tiara, what are your thoughts about the comparison?
Well, I think that President Obama is supposedly Martin Luther King's dream realized, right? So that's why people make that comparison, and they hold him in such high regard. But there are parts of, when I think of Martin Luther King and I read some of his old, the old stuff of him before he passed, him linking with Malcolm X, and him thinking, okay, maybe nonviolent is not the way. Maybe I should explore other things. And of course, this is just, what I read. It could or could not be. But, to say to say Martin Luther King was just all, nonviolent. I think he was, thinking of other ways to be effective. And so with Obama, I mean, the comparison, I mean, you can't really compare, like Noma said, you can't compare the two. But I think one is just the other extreme realized. So, if that can be.
Okay. Well, ladies, I thank both of you all for joining us and providing us with your insight on these topics. For our viewers, thank you very much for hanging in there. Again, I apologize for the connectivity issues, but I do thank you for hanging in there and watching this segment, and also for checking out the Your Black World Network every week. Thank you all very much, and tune in next week as we cover more of Black America's most discussed articles. Take care.